Sibanye owns and operates gold mines. It is expanding into the platinum sector and is trying to buy Stillwater in the US. Market cap here?
27.6 billion rands, that's what it says. But what an interesting transformation under Neil Froneman. So now it's going global, because Stillwater, you mentioned, there is a US platinum mining asset. So now it's not enough just to buy platinum here in Rustenburg. Now we must go buy in Nevada.
But this is a huge transaction if they can get it right. We want to go to the PE of 16.7, dividend yield here of 5.9%. So not a bad dividend yield.
But what's going to happen to that dividend yield coming up is the real question.
Because they're raising money right now, aren't they, for this transaction?
That Stillwater transaction is absolutely enormous. It's about 1.5 times the size of Sibanye at the moment. It's a cash deal. They've managed to get their bridge financing in place, which I think is about $2.6 billion. Now the plan is to pay for Stillwater in cash, which is they're going to make a bid of $18 a share, pretty much close to Stillwater's record highs. And then at the same time, they're going to then go into a rights issue afterwards to raise about $1 billion to then pay down that bridge loan facility. So, you know, for us, it looks like an enormous transaction. They're paying a lot to become big. They're paying a lot to externalize their assets as well. And there's going to be a serious dilution on shareholders. I mean,
so how is the share price reacting? Can we get that up?
So it sort of had a bit of a slide there in late 2016, but it does show signs of life on the right-hand shoulder.
A bit of a slide
there
is an understatement.
Look, I saw Julian Wenzel, who I know is a friend of yours. He's an investment banker. He's with Macquarie. He's based in London. He seemed tanned and well, and he was shawning around Joburg, you know, talking to people about raising the money in this transaction for Stillwater. Stillwater, of course, in the context of the US, is a relatively small company, but it is a dominant player in platinum. They're probably the only significant asset outside of here in Russia. I don't know, man. You know, you can't fault Froneman for having a swing.
It's a big vision.
So he obviously believes that platinum, like we've been sitting around here discussing, is ready to go higher. And so if you push out the boat at this time, you're going to go.
It's another take on buying at the bottom, isn't it? Although you're saying that that's pretty close to Stillwater's all-time high.
Yeah, it is. But looking at it, I mean, I don't think there's any platinum miner that is banking on higher platinum palladium prices as much as Sibanye. I mean, this is, if we don't get a recovery, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to justify this transaction. This could be a company-defining
moment, because if we have like an economic slowdown in Asia and the Trump train goes off the rails and
that could happen then, any moment.
And then some of these sort of animal spirits that have been around lately start to go away, then we could see some serious downside here.
But where there's no risk, there's no reward.
Absolutely, but it's whether that risk is worth the reward. I think that's what investors have to ask themselves at this stage, because again, if you're buying in here, the whole of Stillwater is only going to increase their production by about 20%. But like I said, they're paying 1.5 times their market cap, so they're paying a lot to increase production. Now, what you have to offset that against is the giant the synergies of becoming one of the world's majors, essentially going to offset that in time. Is it going to flatten the profile of their earnings over time, because obviously their original plan was to take those sort of end-of-life assets and pay out as many dividends. Now they're sort of almost trying to extend the whole life of Sibanye, which was never the plan in the beginning.
From a very basic level, if the platinum price does not gain momentum from here, it's going to be difficult for them to service that debt.
Yeah, no question.
That's the bottom line.
Put it this way, the free cash flow of Stillwater is not enough to service the debt at the moment.
At the current platinum price.
At the current platinum price. So it's enormous. It's expensive as well. So for me, not hot.
Not hot. Paul?
I'll go hot on it. Why not? No duck or no dinner, as they say.